why is it resilient important? We have talked about it. Resilience is becoming more and more important because we are in that VUCA world which we were talking about a few years back or a few months back. I think this is the best example of VUCA world that we are in. Things are happening so fast, so quickly. The habits have to change so dramatically. The way we work is changing dramatically. It's the ultimate, if I can use that word, or a very perfect VUCA world that we are in. And I was reading an article somewhere, and the writer says that this is the worst thing, and this is the worst thing which is slightly better than end of world that is happening to us. There could not be worse than this. End of the world would be the next worst thing which can happen to us. So you can imagine how in this world resilience is going to play a big role in the success of individual and of the teams and the organizations. Leaders are feeling burnout. There is a Harvard school study, medical school study, which talks about leaders feeling it all the time. My question to you is, do you feel burnout? Have you felt burnout in the last 6 to 8 months, especially in the last 6 months? Put it in yes or no. Have you experienced, I'm not saying burnout fully, but sometimes feelings of sadness, hopelessness, frustration, all those. If you have, put yes or no, whichever way you feel. Yes, sometimes, yeah. And from housework, yeah. There could be, somebody says housework, yeah, because that's also a change. It has brought to an end, brought ending to some freedom that we had in office, but now that we are at home, we have to do housework, right? Women are much more stressed and strained because of that, because their partners may not be participating as much in washing utensils or cooking or doing the homework or the housework, as they say. So we are experiencing that, yeah. And imagine the impact of this when we want to move into the performance zone again, or on our teams when we are in that burnout mode. It's not a good place to be in. So it becomes important for us to now frame a definition of resilience. So I'm putting up 3 definitions, and the one that I like the best is the middle one. That this definition, and this is my personal favorite also, it talks about growth. So let's imagine an egg, right? You throw down an egg. What will happen? It will break. But you take a ping pong ball and throw it and drop it on the floor. What will happen? It will bounce back. So true resilience, when it is in work, when you are demonstrating true resilience, that's when you don't only think of recovering, of coming back and just putting your head above water. It's also about swimming ahead and going ahead into deeper waters and doing better. And a lot of times you have heard this in the recent past, that leaders use crisis to bring about transformational changes and growth to the organization. And what is it about this crisis that leaders use? If they are really banking on the resilience of not only for themselves, of the organization, of the people, because that's when people are going deep into their reservoir, their energy reservoir, and that's resilience. So it's important that we not only build resilience and enhance resilience, we also use this resilience to take things forward, not just sustain ourselves. That's the key to this definition. And with this definition, it also, I'm reminding you of this, that resilience is an ability. Yeah, it's a skill, and you can learn it, you can develop it. It's not something you are born with. And I talked about it when I was talking about the objectives of the program in the beginning of the session. What does resilience do? It helps us do many things. It's critical to us to cope with stress and uncertainty. That's one thing that resilience does. For example, I play golf. So I could not go and play golf, especially on the weekends. So what did I do? And I had learned golf about 2 years back. I'm still a learner. And if I would have stopped my practice, I would have lost touch with it. So I had to buy a golf screen, and I kept it in my balcony, and I hit balls on it. I can't go to the golf course. I'm coping with it. The stress, the loss of endings, loss of going and playing in that golf course, I'm compensating by making a new beginning by doing it at home. I'm just coping with it. I'm not yet as excited, but just about coping with it. That's what it helps us do. We think of ways and means to cope. Second is bounce back, which means from physical and emotional stress. Now, apart from being my favorite game these days, it also was a physical activity for me. And I was feeling physical stress. So what did I do? Perhaps I started doing yoga more. And that also is helping me get other benefits of yoga. It's not just about the physical stress getting released, but also helping me with much more beneficial dimensions of yoga from a health standpoint. It also helps you absorb high levels of constant change and remain effective, which means you let it sink in. It's like saying, let me see what happens. Let it happen and let me see what happens. That's sort of an approach. It helps you absorb. You don't deny it, but you observe it, right? It also helps you adjust to disruptions in life. I think we have all adjusted to disruptions of going to a restaurant, watching a movie in a theater. Have you noticed how we are now getting adjusted to watching a movie every Friday evening, which are being released on these platforms? Yesterday also some movies have been released a week before that. We are adjusting to these disruptions in life. We may not like it, but we are adjusting to it. And lastly, it continues to help us maintain high levels of productivity. So these are the various benefits or usefulness of resilience. It helps us do all of these things.